Hello, and thank you for visiting Leezah's Lair, the channel for the older adults who are in the virtual world of Second Life. Thank you for clicking on this video. And if you notice, there is a reindeer on my back, and that is one of the free gifts at one of these retail events. It is the most unusual gift yet that I have seen at all of these retail events, and I've been to about 4 or 5 so far. You put the reindeer on and it just like travels with you, and believe it or not, I've seen 2 other people with this reindeer at other events that I've been to, and I wondered when I first saw them, is that another avatar? And now I realize it was a gift that they got from one of these events that I happened to go to. This video is going to be a little bit different, and today is December the 26th, and it is the first day of Kwanzaa. And Kwanzaa is an American holiday that lasts for 7 days, and it appreciates, values, respects, celebrates African heritage in America. I tried my best to put together a Kwanzaa table with items that I found on the marketplace, and this is the 53rd year of Kwanzaa in this country, and it was started by an American professor who focused on African studies, and he started this in order to have an initiative that would be national and that would really focus on an appreciation of African heritage in Americans. And there are 7 principles for Kwanzaa, and each day has an assigned principle to focus on. You see before you 7 candles, and on December the 26th, which is today, the first day of Kwanzaa, the first candle would be lit, and that would be the black candle. Now, even though this display has all of the candles lit, that was just because that's how the creator made it. But in actuality, if you had this Kwanzaa at home, you would only light 1 candle, the next day and the next day. But I still like it the way it is. If any creator out there wants to create one of these and wants to put a script into the Kwanzaa, so that when you click on a candle, it lights, that would be great. I don't even know if that type of script exists, but it's still beautiful. I still like it, and shout out to the creators for doing so many creative things, and this is just one of the items. The Kwanzaa table has a mat, which I found, a woven mat. It has an ear of corn. Well, there's several. Each ear of corn represents a child in the household. So there could be more ears of corn on the table, but I just put 1 in there for the symbolism. And then fruits and vegetables, because Kwanzaa is from a Kiswahili phrase that means first fruits or harvest. So there's fresh fruit, arranged around the Kwanzaa on the table, and so that's what I tried to do here. There's also a wooden chalice. I used this one. That's the best that I could do, and that wooden chalice is passed around. If it's a family unit, it's passed around and everyone takes a sip. Obviously, if you have a big gathering of a bunch of people, everyone is not going to be passing around a cup and sipping from it like that. But I still wanted to include that because it is important, and it is part of the Kwanzaa table. There is the aerial view of the table. I think it turned out pretty nice. There's a close-up. One thing that is in the chair is a book. Now, that is not part of the Kwanzaa table, which is why it's not on the table, but the reason why I put it in the chair at the table is because usually for Kwanzaa celebrations, somebody is reading a poem that pertains to that principle for the day. Today's principle for the first day, December 26th, is unity. Usually somebody is reading a poem from there, maybe an essay by a scholar about it, or maybe even reading some information pertaining to that family's lineage. Kwanzaa is usually a 7-day celebration that is taken seriously by a small percentage of people who do it every single day. They focus on what the principle is for that day. They bring their family together. Sometimes they invite friends over. The very last day of Kwanzaa is a big feast, and gifts are exchanged, homemade gifts. And so some people really make a huge deal of it annually. And then some people don't. They may attend one Kwanzaa gathering out of the 7 days in their community if the church is having something, or a nonprofit event or something like that. It is not a religious holiday at all. It is, a celebration of African heritage in America. Sometimes whenever there's a celebration of, African heritage or Asian heritage, or, Latino, somebody ultimately asks, oh, am I allowed to come, or am I allowed to participate? And I never really understand what's behind that question. Why is it that somebody thinks it's inappropriate for you to learn about somebody else's culture? Why is it that anybody would think it's inappropriate to respect somebody's culture, to celebrate somebody's culture, even if it's not yours? Why is that even a question? I never understand people who ask those questions. If I was invited to an event and somebody told me, oh, this is, we're going to celebrate our Japanese culture and everybody's wearing this and I would certainly show up and participate and do everything. Why does somebody think that you have to be Japanese in order to celebrate Japanese culture, appreciate Japanese culture, learn about Japanese culture, appreciate, African cultures, because there's many. Why? I don't understand the mentality. So today's principle is unity, then it's going to be self-determination, then collective responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and the last day the principle is faith. So those are the 7 principles, and I think they are really universal principles, but they are part of the central purpose for having a different emphasis for each day. As I mentioned, each day can consist of songs. It can consist of poetry readings. It can consist of a discussion, maybe one person giving a talk, maybe going around the room and speaking on the theme. There are many different ways that you can have your own Kwanzaa celebration in your own household. And as I said, it can be your family unit. People can invite friends over, relatives, co-workers, people, from all backgrounds can participate if you are having a Kwanzaa event. Dr. Karenga was responsible for starting Kwanzaa in this country 53 years ago, and the U.S. government put out its first Kwanzaa stamp 31 years after Kwanzaa started. And since that time, I guess, since so many people were buying the stamps, they have had 5 more Kwanzaa designs since that time. So that's good. At least people are going out buying them. I don't know, for as collectors, or whatever their reasons are, it was popular enough for them to actually put out 5 more designs after that. So that's nice. And I will be leaving out my Kwanzaa table for the entire 7 days. So if you want to stop by, you're more than welcome. Let me know. If you're interested, and if there's a specific principle that I mentioned that really speaks to you, and you want to do something really focused on that principle, sure, stop on by my campfire. I'm going to leave the table out. Thank you for watching this video, and happy Kwanzaa to everybody who celebrates. Those of you who have never heard of it before, you're 53 years late, but you're educated about it now. So congratulations, and thank you for visiting Leezah's Lair, and I hope you'll come back and watch more videos.